Welcome to WSWA 72nd Annual Convention and Exposition in Orlando, Florida. I'm Meredith May, the publisher and editorial director for the Tasting Panel magazine and the Somm Journal. And we're thrilled to be here today with our guest, Shelly Stein, President and CEO of Glazer's Distributors. Shelly, welcome to WSWA TV.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Shelly, Glazer's is the fourth largest distributor in the U.S. But in what states are you growing the fastest?
Well, we're very fortunate in that we're growing fast in all of our states. So we're seeing tremendous growth this year. And when I started, we were at $2.8 billion. We're now, including our beer business, over $4 billion. So we're growing dramatically.
How has your experience as a former investment banker for Merrill Lynch translated as an asset to the decisions you've made in the last 5 years since you've taken this role?
Well, if you talk to a lot of my former investment banking partners, they think I spend all my time sipping wine and eating at wineries. They don't realize the complexity of this business. So where it's really helped is that I dealt with literally thousands of companies, taking them public, mergers and acquisitions. So I have a very good feel for what a world-class consumer products business should be. And what I've tried to do at Glazer's is taken that experience and knowledge and create a world-class consumer products company.
What specific decisions have you led in this movement?
Well, when I got coming from the investment banking world where technology and being on cutting-edge technology is critical, one of the things that I saw at Glazer's is that we were deficient in our technology. So over the last 3.5 years, we've spent over $100 million in going to a full-blown, robust SAP-based technology where our people now, and we're just rolling this out, will have real-time information in all of everything they do in dealing with retailers and dealing with suppliers. So the technology aspect has been really critical. And knowing what you can do is really critical, and that's where we are.
Well, there's so many brands you have to deal with, and that makes all the sense in the world. And what companies have you acquired, or what joint ventures have you engaged in as part of this?
Since I've been at Glazer's, we've done 15 acquisitions. And we've gone into numerous places. We've gone into Illinois, we've gone into Tennessee, we've gone into Canada, and we just announced this past week that Remy Cointreau is coming with us all over Canada. We've gone into the Virgin Islands, and we have a clear strategy for the Caribbean. So we're expanding. We've traveled all over the world, looked at opportunities in China and Brazil and Mexico, and we're going to be very opportunistic. When we see the right opportunity, we will jump on it.
Excellent. So you have a Harvard law degree. That's a really coveted accomplishment. How has that specifically played into your role?
Well, I think that what the law degree did was train you how to think and how to react. So one of the big advantages it gives me is that when we're especially in the transactional side of the business, we're business people, and we have to make critical business decisions every day. When you're trained in the law, you're trained to spot problems. What's helpful is that having that background, I can tell where it's really an important issue or where it's a 1 in 1,000, and I have to make a rational business decision that really shouldn't be driven by a legal issue. So it's given me a very broad base of ability, and given my background both in law and investment banking in understanding transactions. So when you're in a growth phase like we are at Glazer's, where we're acquiring companies, that's where the background, and I don't know that Harvard has a great name and it opens up a lot of doors, but at the end of the day, you have to prove yourself.
Good points. So we've covered technology, we've covered the law side, we've covered your background with the investment as an investment banker, but then there's the human aspect, the one-on-one. What do you personally do to develop supplier relationships?
Well, I spent the first probably 2 years at Glazer's developing a relationship with suppliers. And what's very interesting is that people in this business, a lot of them say, it's all about relationships. And my view is that's not really the case. While relationships are critical, there's a combination. And there's a story I tell many of our suppliers about the husband who says to his wife, will you still love me if I lose all my money? And she says, I'll love you, I'll miss you, but I'll love you. And I look at it that we have to be in the performance business and
right.
the relationship business, and
yes.
that either one without the other doesn't work.
Boy, you hit the nail on the head with that one, I got to tell you. Well, and some people think even more important than anything nowadays, well, of course you need the money and you need the relationships, but how important is education when it comes to not only understanding the business, but gaining admiration and respect for your sales teams go out on the street?
We believe that education of our sales force is critical, and we have a very robust Glazer University. We pay our people to take training courses. Matter of fact, one of the things we found was that we had all these training courses, but we weren't quite getting people's participation. So now when they pass different levels, they get bonuses for passing. And we've also given people, one of the things we've done is we've provided language training for a lot of our people who deal in different segments, be it the Hispanic market or whatever the market it is. You know, people don't realize that the third most common language spoken in Texas is Vietnamese. And our people have to deal with all these segments, and they have to know how to deal with it. So training on all aspects, in the wine aspects, the spirits aspects, the language aspects. So from our standpoint, training is absolutely essential.
I think we had a great talk today. Learned a lot more about what's going on with Glazers, and certainly starting to get to know you. And thank you so much for being part of WSWA TV.
Appreciate you having me.